Hi guys, my name is Sandra Gutierrez and this is my digital observation video for EHD 50 Fall 2018. Tarpe Elementary School is a school part of Clovis Unified School District located in Clovis, California. The school itself is somewhat moderate with a newly built administration office and cafeteria. The buildings are old, but they are still nice with the bright color red for their bricks and doors. The school itself is located in a low-income community, meaning most of the families in the community are low-income families, not making enough for school funds. There are a lot of homes surrounding the school with blocks of apartments just walking distance away that provides the students and family to have easy commute to the school. The question I had in regards before entering the classroom to observe it is that I wanted to know more about diversity in the classroom and how it affects the learning environment in the classroom. While I had the opportunity to observe at two different classrooms, one upper grade and one lower grade, I started to realize and recognize the different diversity that the classroom adheres to providing. I recognize that students in the classroom come from all different ethnicities and racial groups. One quote I remember hearing in my 5th grade observational classroom was about bullying. This quote, "I do not tolerate bullying in the classroom. Bullying is the one thing I do not tolerate. If I see or hear anything that connects to bullying, I will send you to the office with the principal." This quote really stuck with me because it shows that the passion that the teacher has with not allowing students to bully each other in the classroom. Because I got the opportunity to observe at two different classes, I really got the experience in regards to learning how different their state content standards are. Based on 3rd grade, I got to see how the teacher teaches, which was more teacher-centered class, and the 5th grade classroom was more teacher-student-centered. Based on recognizing 3 different concepts in each of the classrooms, I was surprised to see how many appear in the text. Things like I mentioned before, diversity in the classroom and teacher and student-centered way of teaching. I really got to recognize how the classroom portrays to these methods of teaching, even when they do not really know they are teaching in it like that. Another thing I noticed are the different assessments that the teacher has. I got to experience some in hand in regards to knowing if the teacher was assessing the students formatively or summatively. Most of the assessments were formative, meaning they were still in progress of learning their knowledge of the concept, but it was just to see how they were doing. While observing the classroom, I recognized that both of my observational teachers carried the same norms and values in regards to the students' achievements and performance. Things like having posters up in the classroom about classroom rules were demonstrated in both of my classrooms, meaning that no matter what grade level the student is, each of the students are expected to behave a certain way. In regards to how students were being treated in the classrooms for trying to meet the purposes of meeting school goals, I realized that both the teachers discipline the students who misbehave or have difficulty in paying attention in the class. Starting off with 3rd grade classroom, the students who were bad and sensed to misbehave in the classroom were being placed segregated from the rest of the students. The students who were misbehaved were separated by a larger group and were placed some closer to the whiteboard near the teacher's desk, and others who were also closest to the teacher's desk were separated with the other bad students. In regards to the 5th grade, the teacher actually did not do the same thing as separating all the bad students separated from the rest, but there was still one student that was placed in the back of the classroom. This just makes it show that the students that are disciplined who do not follow good class leadership, and the ones that do are praised by rewards. In 3rd grade, the students who did get all their assignments turned in and do good in the classroom got jet books. These jet books were being able to use so that the students can use and collect to get things from the treasure box. In 5th grade, the students were praised in having all their assignments turned in and not misbehaving by Fun Friday. The learning environment in this school in both of my classrooms that I got to observe is that clearly all students are expected to meet the expectations that the teacher has in regards to behaving a certain way, like sit down, no walking around the classroom, not talking to your friends when not allowed, as well as to the responsibilities that they are expected to do their assignments as per the teacher. So like when the students in 3rd grade are asked in the mornings to work on their spelling and morning work, they are expected to sit down at their desk and work quietly on it. Or in my 5th grade classroom, for example, the teacher allows the students to use the laptop cards for the ISL assessment, and the teacher expects them to do what is being asked and not play around with the computers. They are expected to do what is being expected from them. In regards to how the students are being taught, it is mostly teacher-centered, like how I mentioned that the teacher is usually the one talking in most parts, giving instructions to the class and lecturing the class. But the teachers allow students to ask questions about the content and answer content-related questions. But in regards to having them figure out formulas on their own to work with the classmates on work to elaborate the collaboration and thinking skills. Both classrooms lack in sense to allowing students also be center of the classroom and learning environment. However, in sense to how the classrooms are set to provide an affecting learning environment to students is that both classrooms are very colorful, filled with posters about things they are learning. For example, 5th grade, she has many learning objectives written in posters hung around the classroom and references that students are able to go back and review throughout the year. Things also like classroom setup that ensures students can talk to their group members and not have it where they're all faced towards the classroom. Over the last couple of weeks, I got to go and observe at the 2 different classrooms. I recognize that although all students go in to be given a fair opportunity to learn, it is not always like that. Things like technology is a big thing that a few students lose the opportunity to not use in the classroom due to the misbehavior of the week and not wanting to do what is being asked by a teacher. In another sense, students that lose the advantage of using technology in the classroom is given less of an opportunity to adhere to their learning in the classroom. School culture is very diverse. I noticed that all ethnic groups in the school, but I also noticed how the school morals are all different cultures. They adhere to this by providing after-school clubs and activities that show how they adhere to all different cultures. Clubs like Spanish Flamenco Dance Club and Hmong Dance are some activities that are visible to show how the school values diversity and culture and likes to pride their students with it by allowing them to join the club even if they're not cater guides to either of these ethnicities' traditions. Going back to how students are allowed to express their ideas in classroom, both of the classrooms I got to observe allows for creativity and their thinking to be shown. Examples include, in my 3rd grade, the teacher always allows the students to ask students when she is giving lectures spelling words or content from the text. Even if they do not have the question, like they don't want to raise their hand, the teacher still uses in questions during her lecture, where she provides students to answer questions to expand their thinking on the content. As I finish taking the class, I think of the hours of observation that I completed as a way to an entrance and preview of what I will have in a couple of years in my own classroom. On other hand, I had many surprises in completing my hours of observation. I got to really learn and experience a real low-income community school located in the Clovis Unified School District. Since this is a low-income community school, the school is very diverse, and as a result of observing and experiencing real hands such as a diverse group, I noticed that many morals and values that each school will carry in hoping to make the school the best and safe school for their students. Although there were many surprises that occurred and were viewed during my hours of observation, I feel like this is just a recap to the school I once attended, where I told myself I would want to become a teacher when I was older.